Porter in the backcourt. Cotton Fitzsimmons in his third stint as head coach of the Phoenix Suns. And Flip Saunders, who was the club's general manager, who took over for Bill Blair on December the 18th. He has won 2 CBA titles and was a roommate at the University of Minnesota with the vice president of the organization, Kevin McHale. You remember his name with the great Boston Celtic teams. And Christian Laettner and Chuck talked about confidence, and one of the areas of confidence for the Timberwolves was the fact that after 25 losses in a row to the Phoenix Suns, the Timberwolves finally beat Phoenix, and they beat them at the America West Arena. Their first win in 26 meetings on January 4th, 98-93. So a long drought came to an end there, Chuck.
Yeah, and they deserve to win the basketball game, but it'll be a little more interesting tonight, simply because you know, KJ is back, Barkley is back, then that can change the picture, and they'll have played a couple of games and physically more ready to play. I talked to Barkley before, and he said he isn't quite ready to go full tilt yet. Foot still bothers him.
Paul Mahalik, Tommy Wood, Ted Bernhardt, again the officials, and the tip is controlled by the Suns. Kevin Johnson, who missed 20 games this year, out with a groin injury. And he was a big factor in the one win that the Suns have over the Wolves. They're 1-1 going into this game, and Charles Barkley from the baseline gets the first basket.
Yeah, no double team, isolation, went up over him. Flip Saunders says only if he goes to the lane, but Charles is capable of having a really big night if you don't play him straight up. If you play him straight up, don't double him, give some help.
Tom Gugliotta moving inside. He's been a big force. He does a lot of things for this team. And Gugliotta, according to Kevin McHale, perhaps the best defensive player up front that the Wolves had. He ties the game. Terry Porter is guarding Kevin Johnson. Barkley trying to post up against Gugliotta. Very tough defensive player. Porter on the steal. Gugliotta going strong to the basket, and the reverse layup. And the follow-up misses. And we have a foul as Christian Laettner hits the floor.
You know, in observing this Minnesota Timberwolves club, one of the things where I think they fall short is that Gugliotta and Laettner do not finish, and there was a perfect example on that play. They don't finish around the basket quite the way they should, and I think it hurts them down the stretch and in big games.
It was evident on that sequence. The foul was called against Barkley. First foul of the game. Cutting inside is Isaiah Ryder and hits the shot. Ryder coming in the second leading scorer at nearly 19 points a game. And he has been red hot, averaging nearly 25 in the last 3. So Ryder, one of the big strengths of this team, coming on strong. Opening moments here, the Suns in the midst of a grueling, most laborious road trip this franchise has ever had. We'll tell you more about that later. Barkley working against Gugliotta. Goes up, the basket counts, and a foul as well. So Barkley with his second field goal, and he'll go to the line.
You know, in talking to Charles and watching him, I think he's probably playing as well. Look at there. He is such a smart player. He knew in his mind what was going to happen. He knew he'd hit a jumper in the previous play. That time he said, I'll get him up in the air, and I'll go to the foul line. I've watched him carefully this year. I don't think he's lost the thing and playing great basketball.
He missed 6 in a row due to that toe infection that forced the nail on his big toe to be removed, and he's got something on his shoe to protect it, the surgery even more so. Missed the free throw, and we're tied at 4 with a minute and a half gone by here in the opening period. Isaiah Ryder and Porter, veteran who played so many years with the Portland Trailblazers. There's the pick and spot up, and Christian Laettner hits the bucket. And it's now 6-4 the Wolves.
That's a pick and roll. It's so dangerous and so difficult to defend. And he rolls to the open area, wide open. Somebody's got to rotate to him, or they'll continue to run it until they stop it.
Wesley Person gets it in low to Barkley, goes baseline. Charles Barkley off to a hot start, coming in as the leading scorer and rebounder at over 23 a game. And Barkley has all 6 Suns points. And on the turnover, A.C. Green trying to split the defense, and now the Timberwolves have a 4-on-1 break. And here's Gugliotta with the exclamation point.
Your forwards can handle the ball, but you'd love to see a guard handle it and not make that kind of mistake. It becomes a turnover situation. You give up an easy fast break basket, they get one on the other end.
Wesley Person picked up on the switch, and a foul called as Porter and Ryder converged on Person. Porter doesn't agree with that personal foul, and that's his first.
They're going to have to really reevaluate playing Barkley straight up with the start that he is into right now. They may have to come earlier, come down. They said they were going to come when he came to the paint, but they better do something or he's going to have some night.
Flip calls it his meat and potatoes defense.
It'll be
mashed potatoes.
It'll be leftovers. It'll be leftovers.
You better do something with it. Person goes right around Gugliotta, just fakes Gugliotta out of his shoes, and Wesley Person, back as a starter, was coming off the bench while Kevin Johnson was out of there, and the Suns have yet to miss a shot. They're 4 for 4, and we're all tied at 8 with 3 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Working inside is Mitchell. Johnson is all over Porter. Porter's going to fire anyway. Bad shot by Porter with Johnson on him, but it's tipped out to the Wolves again. Isaiah Ryder trying to work around Finley and finally travels.
Interesting matchup, and we talked about Isaiah Ryder. He has gone to Flip Saunders and said, I'd like to go inside a little bit more, and it's been a very effective mode for him. They've done very well with it, and I think we'll probably see more of it. That, depending strictly on the outside shot, you can't become the player that you want to be.
And Ryder and Leitner, according to Kevin McHale, two of the more misunderstood players in the NBA. Kevin Johnson short with it. The rebound by Gugliotta. 3.5 minutes have gone by. We're all tied at 8 here, and the layup by Porter misses. Good rebound taken down by Mitchell. They go low again into Isaiah Ryder, and Ryder goes over Barkley. Good touch by Isaiah Ryder to give the Wolves the lead again by 2.
Yeah, Isaiah Ryder at 6'5", 222 pounds, has the ability to post up and has a good sense around the basket.
Barkley working again against Gugliotta, who got faked out by Person moments ago. Backing his way in, ready to double team. They find the open man, Kevin Johnson, and it's tipped up and in. Is that Finley with the basket? So Michael Finley, the rookie sensation from Wisconsin, ties this game up once more. Mitchell over Person. Leitner tips it out of bounds, and it's Phoenix possession. Last touch by Christian Leitner.
Yeah, Michael Finley, 21st pick in the draft. 35 minutes a game for a rookie. He's had very interesting numbers. 14.8 points, along with some outstanding three-point shooting, and can get to the basket.
You know, soon we're not going to call him a rookie anymore. Slicing in and missing is Johnson. The follow-up by A.C. Green. A.C. Green, who's playing center for the third game in a row. He started against Sacramento on Sunday. Joe Klein has gone to the bench. Klein had been in the middle, and of course they still miss Hot Rod Williams, who's missed the last 9 games with that nerve irritation in his leg. Gugliotta, and there was a case in which the Suns defense just standing around.
Well, if you're talking about size, and they're such a small club, with the lineup they have in there, you're going to be able to take advantage of it, and they're going to have to really work to get second shots. Over a period of 48 minutes, it takes its toll.
Here's Barkley to double him this time, and a foul as Ryder and Gugliotta double him, and the foul is called against Christian Leitner. His first personal. We have a timeout. Close game and a good game at the outset.
Road at Ryder on the post-up. Hold it right. Keep coming right there. Hold it. Here's your double team. These two guys are coming on the weak side. The problem is who's going to handle this guy, and you'll see what happens. Pass back, and he's going to get a monster dunk over Barkley. Barkley's not going to foul him in that case under the basket.
Tom Gugliotta has added so much to this Timberwolves team. He's right now second in the NBA forwards and steals behind Scottie Pippen as you look at the early shooting. This is his second year with the Timberwolves. Last year played with 3 teams. Started with the Bullets, went to Golden State, and then was traded in February for Danielle Marshall. And a big addition he has been to this club. Very heady ball player, Tom Gugliotta, who attended school in the Atlantic Coast Conference. NC State may be settling down Christian Leitner from Duke as well.
Yes. Gugliotta at 6'10", a big power forward, but he's playing Barkley, who's quite mobile and a little bit of a problem. We saw him earlier get beat on the baseline. He doesn't have the greatest feet in the world defensively, but he can run for a 4 guy at his size.
Charles Barkley, who had 20 points and 15 rebounds in a losing cause against the Pacers last night, makes both free tosses, and the Suns are up by 2. We have had 6 ties, and the biggest lead either team has had has been just by 2 points. Green got a piece of it. Leitner. Barkley on Gugliotta. They've been the high scorers so far. Basket is good and a foul. So Barkley has 8 now. Gugliotta also has 8, and he'll go to the line for a 3-point play.
This is a tough matchup for Charles. Here Gugliotta puts it on the floor, backs him in. A semi coming to help, but he's going to rise up over him because Barkley isn't big enough to handle it. Obviously, Charles Barkley does not like the call and letting Tommy Wood know.
Second foul on Barkley. Gugliotta 4 for 5 from the field. And now the Timberwolves are up by 1 point with less than 6.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Phoenix and Minnesota, chance to see the Timberwolves. This is only their 7th appearance on Turner Broadcasting. First time ever on TBS after 6 appearances on TNT. Wesley Person off a screen hit, and Person coming in averaging 13 a game. Gives Phoenix the lead by 1. Coming up with the toss is Isaiah Ryder, misses. A.C. Green the rebound.
That's that quick shot, and when that happens, it allows the other club to run and put your defense in transition, and that's a problem.
Barkley tried a behind-the-back play. It fizzled, and Porter on the 3-on-1. So a couple of costly turnovers by the Suns here in the first quarter has cost them, and Minnesota's gotten some easy overs.
So often it happens. Turnover, time and time again. I don't know why. Nobody can explain it, but it happens all the time in basketball, back-to-back.
Timberwolves by 1. Looking inside of Barkley. Ball away, misses, and Gugliotta gets the rebound. Quick toss out to Porter. Porter, a savvy veteran in his 11th year. Played on 2 NBA Finals entries with the Portland Trail Blazers. This is his first year, of course, with the Timberwolves. Mitchell going strong, Gugliotta, and finally, we have a 3-second violation called against the Timberwolves.
Sometimes they say too many cooks spoil the soup, too many passes cost you a 3-second violation. However, as a coach, you got to be happy because you're making the extra pass. You take that for what it's worth.
Kevin Johnson isolated for the moment against Porter. Barkley setting a screen for KJ. Goes in, and no basket. He traveled. He looked at Barkley just in case he thought of a last-second pass and laid it up but took too many steps.
Yeah, it's a pick and roll on the wing, and one of the toughest plays to defend in all of basketball. That time, he very definitely walked with the ball, and Charles needs to set a great screen and then roll quickly in order to get open.
As EJ said, 11 games on tap tonight in the NBA, and there are scores of a couple of them. Leitner lost the ball to Finley. You wind down to 4.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Kevin Johnson trying to find the mark. He is just out of rhythm right now with his shooting 0 for 4 from the field. Timberwolves with a 1-point lead. Porter working against KJ. Layup misses. Barkley just boxed out Leitner and gets the rebound for Phoenix.
Porter going to the basket. In his heyday, he would have easily made that shot.
Johnson goes in, but there is a foul before the shot. And it's on Porter, Terry's second personal foul. And our first substitution of the game coming in will be Derek Martin in his second year from UCLA. He spent preseason with the Timberwolves and then was dropped. He was acquired from Vancouver 12 days ago, and a guy that Flip Saunders obviously liked, played for him in the CBA.
Yes, and McHale liked him too, but it's a confidence factor. He knows his kid. He knows what he can do, so he brings him back, and he's very comfortable with him.
Suns still have possession. Barkley looks down and misses the 3. Mitchell the rebound. You're not going to see the Suns try that many threes. That's not what Cotton Fitzsimmons likes. And traveling called against Derek Martin.
I'll tell you what, the Minnesota Timberwolves are happy about Charles Barkley shooting outside. As long as he's taking those shots, he'll make his share of them, but you'd prefer him to do that rather than getting in the lane and forcing a double team.
Turnovers virtually even at the outset. Kevin Johnson goes around. Martin falls off. KJ doesn't have his game on yet. That's obvious. Martin has Leitner, who fires over Green. Christian Leitner, who is the leading scorer, averaging over 19 a game, and the second leading rebounder. And it's a 3-point lead, and believe it or not, that's the biggest lead either team has enjoyed so far.
KJ can get to the basket almost any time he wants. That time he draws a foul. And talking to Cotton, we were talking to him before the game. He said, I want him to go back to being Kevin Johnson and play his game. Let the Chuckster play his game, not complement his game to Charles Barkley. And that's what he's trying to do. Even though he's not making shots, he's putting a lot of pressure on the defense getting to the basket.
Hey, Chuck, if they do what they do best themselves, the Suns have a pretty good potent 1-2 combination.
Yeah, they really do. They've proven that over the years, and they're still good enough to do it. Age has not affected them, that much.
The Timberwolves are over the limit. That was their 15th foul. It was on Derek Martin, but Kevin Johnson misses the first free throw. Rare for him. He's an 87% free throw shooter. Will settle for 1 out of 2 to bring the Suns to within a couple. 19-17, Minnesota leading. Minnesota has won 7 of its last 11 games here at the Target Center. Pass into the corner, nearly thrown away. Leitner is guarded by Barkley here on this matchup. Mitchell trying to post up against Person. Forward against guard, and they take advantage of it. And Mitchell will go to the line to shoot 2, and Wesley Person. They say the foul now is against Finley.
There's Leitner feeding the post. He's going to go right to the basket and make something happen and draws the foul. Quickly gets in the lane. The Phoenix Suns did not get back and do committee defense like Cotton would like for them to.
Sam Mitchell, who was the league's oldest rookie back in 1989, played 3 years with the Timberwolves and then the last 3 seasons with the Indiana Pacers. A tough, hard-nosed player who's adding a lot of maturity to this team.
Derek Barton, they're going to put KJ in a lot of pick and roll, but he's got to run his defense man, which is KJ, into the screen, which he didn't do to start the previous play. 21-17,
Person is pushed by Isaiah Ryder, and Wesley Person will go to the line to shoot 2 for Ryder. That's his first foul. So Flip Saunders' team has been in the penalty, and with 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter, a timeout has been called by the Phoenix Suns. Both teams under 500 trying to get in gear. We'll be back. Well, the great Bob Dylan hails from Hibbing, Minnesota, as does that man, the Vice President of Basketball Operations, Kevin McHale.
Yeah, Kevin McHale back in Minnesota. Actually doing a job he didn't anticipate would ever be his. Didn't think that he would be interested, but now is in charge of basketball operations. Brought his old friend Flip Saunders back. And this is a guy that played in a front line. It'll probably be a Hall of Fame front line.
How did you try to defend him when you were coaching?
Well, he alluded to it in a meeting as he walked out that he got his 57 on us when we played him straight up. And he was a great, great low post player. Almost unstoppable if he didn't double.
And he seems to enjoy what he's doing now, and he didn't think he would going out in the stick to try to look at basketball talent and try to develop something here, but it looks like he's found a niche.
Yeah, I think you'll pick and choose in that department.
Who travels and who stays home?
Exactly.
So. Wesley Person is on the free throw line. 3 minutes exactly remaining in the first quarter. The Timberwolves lead 21-17. Person in his second year from Auburn. His scoring is up from his rookie year, which was a pretty exciting year, making his 4th start in a row. And we're set now. Person on the free throw line. Phoenix coming in, you saw in the opening of the broadcast, with a record of 5 wins and 10 losses on the road.
Yeah, part of that is defense, and part of it is the fact that they've lost some very big talents. Getting it all back with the schedule they have. They're on a struggle. They're in a struggle, on a struggle course for a playoff berth.
It may or may not happen. It's not a foregone conclusion, even when they get a lot of those guys back. Derek Martin has Isaiah Ryder. Finley is out to guard him. 8 on the shot clock. Ryder finally fires the shot and hits. A lot of standing around, not good ball movement, although the Timberwolves get a couple out of it, and Ryder now with 6.
Flip Saunders wants to go to more of a set offense. They were more in a passing game early, and he feels, and they feel, the players feel more confident with this kind of offense.
That's a word you've used a couple of times, and that really reflects what they're trying to do here. That's confidence, and you got to get the wins to get the confidence. Here's Kevin Johnson, and Johnson finally hits. He missed his first 5 shots but KJ is on the board, and it's 23-21 in favor of the Wolves.
Great execution, and he was very comfortable, again, I'll use the word, in his position for that shot.
Derek Martin, they go low, the two-man game with Mitchell, fall away, and he drew the foul. Sam Mitchell in his 7th year from Mercer, and the foul is against Wesley Person, his first, and the first foul in the last 2 minutes for the Suns.
They're seeking and finding, Flip Saunders is trying to find matchups he can exploit on the box, and that's exactly where he's going almost every time down the floor, and trying to get the outside shot or make something happen. What they're trying to do is get to the basket and create foul situations, which is good because then you don't have to defend in transition.
Ryder goes out of the game having scored 6, and you saw Doug West, who is the only player with the Timberwolves who has been there for all 6 of their campaigns. Mitchell hits the free throw, and it's a 24-21 game. Minnesota's in front. Barkley gets it across to Wesley Person. Barkley on the pass back from Wesley lays it in. 10 points now for Charles Barkley.
Flip Saunders that time wanted to get the ball out of KJ's hands. He did so, but he created an opening for Barkley to get to the basket. In the open floor, getting to the basket, he is a tough man down. There's Derek Martin hitting a shot and backing KJ down.
And on the other end, the ball drops for Michael Finley. Second basket for Finley, and the scoring picks up. Timberwolves regain a lead, 26-25. Under a minute and a half remaining in the first quarter. Nick Stockton along with Chuck Daly here at the Target Center. A good crowd on hand. Here's Derek Martin hitting from outside. Martin with 2 in a row.
And we're looking at this first quarter with 1:07 to go. We've got an interesting graphic. This club has lost 20 in a row, 20 straight when they've been behind. Minnesota has in the first quarter.
And it's going to be a question as to whether they'll be behind again as Kevin Johnson penetrated. 28-27. Leitner tried to save it, but he could not. And so with 51.8 seconds remaining in the first quarter, the Suns will take over. Elliot Perry, who did a terrific job while Kevin Johnson was on the bench at point guard, has come in for Johnson. Kevin leaves the game having scored 5.
I wonder about the psychic makeup of Elliot Perry, whether he's going to be able to handle coming off the bench, his minutes being decreased, and just exactly how he'll perform.
Barkley going to the hoop against Gugliotta. Loose ball. Barkley follows it up. Still going after it out of bounds, and it's last touched by the Timberwolves to the dismay of the crowd, as you can tell by the reaction. Finley will inbound for the Suns, who have a new 24 and an 8-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Cotton Simmons was right on top of Tommy Wood that time, wants to make sure that he understands the way that decision should go.
Looping it in, Gugliotta. They try to loop it in. Gugliotta fronting his man. Martin coming down with the layup. And with 18 seconds to go, the Timberwolves lead it now 30-27. So maybe that 1-21 mark after the quarter won't figure here. Martin has scored 6 points in the final minute and a half off the bench for the Timberwolves. Finley going baseline. Threw up a blind backhanded layup that went off the rim. And so Charles Barkley leading all scorers with 10 points. But the Minnesota Timberwolves have the first quarter lead by a score of 30-27. And all the action starts at 8 o'clock Eastern right here on TBS. The Jazz and the Blazers. Last night, the Jazz had all they could do and destroyed Portland.
Portland will be looking for a payback. It was a back-to-back. They'll be looking for a payback. Getting beat by 24. Not happy. And the Trailblazers have been playing very, very well.
Start of the second quarter for Phoenix. They come out with Wesley Person, Michael Finley, Elliot Perry, Charles Barkley, as well as A.C. Green, and Kevin Garnett makes his first appearance. Farragut Academy in Chicago, but just attended there in a senior year from Malden, South Carolina prior to that. 19 years old, became the third youngest player in NBA history to start a game. Gugliotta with a great baseline move around Barkley and just about everyone else. And Gugliotta now has 11.
Great execution on that play, and Gugliotta really showed you what a 4 guy at his size can do on the offensive block, getting to the basket.
Green gives it back to Elliott Perry. Leitner came out to meet him, and Perry was left open for the moment. Rebound by Garnett. So Kevin Garnett with a rebound. He is 19 years old, was the 5th pick in the draft. Firing it up is Derek Martin, misses. And a foul was called against the youngster, Kevin Garnett.
Barkley had switched off on Gugliotta on the play. Gugliotta fakes the bit. Here comes a double team. He doesn't keep him in the double team and force it to him. He lets him get baseline.
So Garnett is in there with Leitner, Gugliotta, West, and Derek Martin as the Wolves lead 32-27. 8 on the shot clock. Person leaves it for Perry. Too hard off the rim, and Gugliotta now with his 4th rebound of the game.
Fitzsimmons has repeatedly talked about the fact when he goes to his bench, he doesn't get the production that he needs, and that's where they drop back in a basketball game.
And it's always been in the second quarter. That's been the killer. Martin leaves it off. Missing from the outside is West. Doug West misses, and into the hands of A.C. Green. We saw a week ago against Orlando, the second quarter really killed the Suns on their home floor as Finley hits from the perimeter. And last night again, the second quarter destroyed them against Indiana.
And they've got Barkley on the floor. They're trying to keep him on there for long minutes to keep some balance offensively in particular.
3-point lead for the Timberwolves. Garnett is posting up against Finley. Getting a hand on it was Person. Good double team there by the Suns. And here's A.C. Green. And Green is fouled. And that is a good foul on Doug West. His first personal foul.
Right now, Minnesota. Martin is a very aggressive point guard and really pushes the ball, but doesn't have quite the same control. And all of a sudden, turnovers have started to bother them.
Today, Kevin McHale say the toughest position is getting a good point guard in the NBA to have that control and be able to penetrate and do all the things that a point guard needs to do to run a team.
Well, it's a very fine line. You love the way Derek Martin plays. He pushes the ball. He can shoot it, pull up and stop. He dishes it off. But still running a club is a whole different ball game, and making sure that certain people get the ball at the right time.
So the foul by West paid off as Green missed the first free throw. A little more than 2 minutes have gone by in the second quarter. 1 out of 2. It's 32-30. Shooting percentages in the first quarter. The Suns shot 50%, but nothing like the Timberwolves, who are a rousing 65%. Martin trying to get into Leitner. Triple team on Leitner, and he lost the ball to Barkley. And Leitner just stood there and beating him up. Green and misses the layup. Barkley got a piece of it. Leitner follows. So end-to-end up-tempo action as the Wolves lead by 4.
There's a presence of Kevin Garnett getting that block in the middle, and that's something that both of these clubs desperately need.
Now you know why Kevin McHale said we had to have this guy, even though it'll take several years to mature physically and mentally in the pro game. You see the skills that he already has. Person buys an open Perry. Good extra pass to Finley. At the buzzer, misses. Garnett with another rebound. And here comes Derek Martin penetrating. Leitner filling the lane. And Christian Leitner with his second straight basket. And it is a 6-point lead for the Timberwolves, their biggest of the game.
And Derek Martin really showing you that he can handle that point guard position, delaying, knowing who was trailing and where the ball should go.
Perry working now, picked up by Gugliotta. Person, traveling call against Wesley Person. Wasn't sure whether to pass or shoot. And Wayman Tisdale, who led the Suns with 16 off the bench last night, has come in, replacing A.C. Green.
Now they're going to, I think they've made a change there. He's bringing him in for
Barkley is going out.
Yeah. In fact, Green went and sat in the bench and didn't understand the substitute. But Barkley has played the entire game and needed to come out for a little bit of a rest. That's why I was surprised when Green went to the bench.
41%, but the Timberwolves, who have shot 50%. On rare occasions, they've been under 50% of the last 7 games, or over 60 right now. And the foul on Elliott Perry. And Sean Rooks, in his 3rd year from the University of Arizona, has come in. And he replaces Christian Leitner. So Rooks out there with Garnett, Gugliotta, West, and Martin. They go low, and Gugliotta draws the foul. He has by far been the most active and productive member of the Timberwolves thus far.
Great execution, but defensively, watch the breakdown. Here's the pass. Here he's coming on the baseline. You cannot let him come that open. They weren't sure whether they're going to switch or whether they're going to follow. And when he gets the ball, they didn't even see him on the baseline. You've got real defensive problems.
5 for 7 from the field is Gugliotta, who's a 75% shooter from the line. Minnesota has been terrific all season. In fact, they lead the NBA in getting to the free throw line, which is the dream of any head coach, and one of the top 3 teams in free throw shooting the last couple of years.
They're also last in NBA threes, 112 made. The rest of the teams playing have doubled them. They're only shooting 29%. Amazing, the two distortions of the shooting percentages.
They're so good in one and so down in the other, and timeout is called by the Phoenix Suns. So the Timberwolves giving a fine account of themselves before the home fans at the Target Center with 8 minutes remaining in the first half. The Wolves lead the Suns. Don't be awed by what some of the other 19-year-olds and younger have done now. Moses Malone with Utah, the ABA. His numbers rank as well, if not better, than all of the others who came from high school to the NBA. But it must be a very difficult adjustment to be 19 years old and travel and live a professional basketball life, Chuck.
I honestly don't know how he does. I didn't start till I was about 52 years old or 50 years old. I wanted to cry at the end of the first year because it's so difficult. But he has adjusted well, and he is going to be a force. And we'll see in examples as we go along here in the game. But he's terrific at chasing down the ball, shot blocking. He's got a lot of skills. And as they give him more playing time and the confidence develops, he's going to be the player that they wanted to acquire.
He has to go back to the hotel and play video games. Obviously, at 19, there are a lot of places that the players would go after, and he's too young for that.
Yeah, they talked about it. They went to a bar, and he couldn't go in. He was too young. They said, well, all he wants to do is eat. No, he's too young.
Sam Mitchell, we talked about before, has taken him under his wing and has done a terrific job with him. And most of his teammates have understood his plight. Garnett picking up his second foul. Person goes right around West, then backdoor and missed the layup. Wesley Person misses an easy layup, and West at the other side will go to the line as Kevin Johnson back in the game. Fouls him going to the hoop.
This is an old-fashioned backdoor. Comes to the top. KJ fakes the pass. Backdoor. But look at here. He misses it. Look at Doug West. He quit on the play. He ends up getting a breakaway on the other end and ends up going to the free throw line.
West gets the bounce and the first free throw. So Kevin Johnson back in there along with Person, A.C. Green, Wayman Tisdale.
Doug West, one of Rolly Massimino's first big recruits.
Michael Finley, the 5th member of the Suns. One of many great players he was able to recruit, winning a national championship in a stunning upset over Georgetown. Timberwolves on a 7-0 run, and they've trapped Finley inside. He managed to get the pass off to Green, who misses the layup. So the Suns have missed 2 layups in the last 2 times down the court. Trailing 39-30, the Timberwolves with their biggest lead of the game. Mitchell fired it up too quickly. A little more patience might have been in order for Minnesota there. Kevin Johnson pulls up over Martin. Same thing for Kevin Johnson for that side.
Run down the second shot, but the size of the front line of the Minnesota Timberwolves is bothering the Phoenix Suns. It didn't bother Person on that three-pointer.
Person with a three-point basket. Cotton Fitzsimmons would prefer not to see a lot of threes. Against Sacramento on Sunday, they tried only 1 three-point basket. That was by Person, and he hit that. And last night, the Suns had the second fewest numbers of three-pointers attempted, so the message is getting across from Cotton.
Well, it'll get across, but I think you're going to have to revise that at some point. You got a guy like Wesley Person who's shooting 57 for 156 for 36%. That's a pretty potent weapon that you've got to try and take advantage of.
I would think so, and Michael Finley has hit 40 of them. Foul was on Tisdale, his second personal. Here's Sean Rooks, 68%er from the line. Sean Rooks averaging over 7.5 points per game. Originally a second-round draft pick by the Dallas Mavericks.
They had a lot of of centers that they've garnered up here and others that they drafted and gave up on.
Lead is 8, 41-33 in favor of the Timberwolves. Kevin Johnson working against Derek Martin and goes in and is fouled. So Kevin Johnson will go to the line, and Doug West with his second personal.
I think you'll see KJ here in this replay. I think he walks on this play. Look right here. Boom, boom.
Oh, how about 4?
Yeah, he really walked. Got away with, he actually got the miss. They got the miss, the Timberwolves, but he ends up on the free throw line. But he very definitely walked on that play and got away with it.
Kevin Johnson, and you can tell if you've seen the Suns many times in the past that he doesn't have his A game as of yet, just coming back in action after missing 20 on the year. Isaiah Ryder back into the game for the Timberwolves.
Well, one of the dilemmas that Cotton Fitzsimmons is facing is that he's only played 17 games. Who knows when he's going down again? And then you got to go back to Perry for extended minutes. So it's more than a small dilemma for Cotton Fitzsimmons, Paul Silas, and the coaching staff.
Yeah, you're right. Kevin Johnson's been out, 100 games or so in the last 3 years. It's too many games. Tisdale picking up Ryder on the switch with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Ryder misses. Rooks on the other side, gets the rebound to keep it going. New clock. Derek Martin controlling as we get down to the halfway mark here in the second quarter. Ryder fires from the baseline. Misses. Ryder is controlling the ball too much. Kevin Johnson goes in a hard foul by Sam Mitchell. But going back to Isaiah Ryder, and it'll be a 2-shot foul. Ryder is not excited about giving up the basketball.
No, he's a scorer, and he likes to score. Although I thought in that particular play, Martin should have made a better decision about when he had the clock back, 24 seconds, get him into a play and go exactly where you wanted. What happened was that Tisdale played great defense, overplayed, and didn't allow Mitchell to get it. So they ended up taking a bad shot, ends up with KJ on the run, going to the line with a flagrant foul.
And they called the foul on Martin, his second. So a flagrant foul, type 1, and Kevin Johnson on the free throw line, and the Suns are struggling, including KJ from the strike.
Here he gets by Martin right here. And that's Mitchell from bounds. There's where, when you come over the top with a hand across the top of the head and the back, you're going to get called for a flagrant. If he'd have reached in and grabbed his arms or grabbed him from behind and held him, it wouldn't have been a flagrant.
Meanwhile, Kevin Johnson missed both free throws and is now 2 for 6 from the line. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. It's 41-34. The Timberwolves lead the Phoenix Suns. Johnson pulls up at the free throw line and misses. Normally that's automatic for him, out of bounds. Last touched by the Suns. So KJ struggling, 2 for 6 from the line, and he's 2 for 9 from the field thus far.
And we've got Perry sitting over there, who has played so well for the Phoenix Suns, and they say, well, we've got to give Johnson minutes in order to get his game back.
Derek Martin off the front rim on a three-point attempt. Tisdale the rebound. Here's Kevin Johnson working his way back in action. Suns are 2 for 12 from the field in this quarter. Person hits, though. Wesley Person, who has hit the only three-point basket in the game, now has 11 and is the Suns' high scorer.
And you can talk about, practice, practice, practice. Not the same as playing.
Derek Martin draws the foul in the paint. Christian Laettner coming back in, as will Charles Barkley for the Phoenix Suns. Let's take a look now at tonight's Visa leaderboard, which features the NBA's top scorers. Michael Jordan at 31-7, and then the rest of the mortals. Huh?
And the Chicago Bulls are playing out of their gourd.
Ooh. And they're playing tonight as well. The Chicago Bulls are playing at home against the Vancouver Grizzlies. Good chance the Bulls may prevail again. Undefeated at 19-0 at home. They've won 12 in a row and have a 35-3 record. Trying to challenge the best start in the NBA history of 39-3 by Philadelphia. Martin with the free throws has 8 points. 7-point lead for the Timberwolves. Suns really ice cold from the field as Tisdale misses from the perimeter.
Really struggling to make a shot. They've got Barkley back in there. They're going to have to get him the ball in a low post to try to either get to the foul line or get a score from him, because they can't find it anywhere else.
Martin missing from outside, and the rebound by Finley into the hands of Kevin Johnson. Wesley Person doesn't drop more. Finley with a follow-up. Barkley gets a hand on it, knocked away, and it's last touched by the Timberwolves, so it is still Phoenix ball as we bring you up to date on scores around the league.
You know, in talking about three-point shots and the way Cotton has kind of gotten away from it, wants his club to get away, what that does sometimes is put indecision in the minds of your shooters, even on their two-point shots, and sometimes affects the overall shooting of a basketball team.
Terry Porter has come back in, and Derek Martin goes out. He played a lot of minutes and played well for the Timberwolves as they opened up as much as a 9-point lead. They're up by 7 now. No basket, and an offensive foul has been called against the Suns. Wayman Tisdale, his third.
And the Phoenix Suns are really fortunate to only be 7 down the way they've shot over the last 5-6 minutes.
3 for 11 for Minnesota, but Phoenix is having a tougher time at 3 for 16. So the shooting is way off for both teams here in this second quarter. Ryder forced one up, Person the rebound. 4:20 remaining in the first half. Porter is guarding Johnson. Now Barkley has Rooks. Nine on the shot clock. Person with a fake on Mitchell. Mitchell gets the loose ball with under 4 minutes to go. 7-point lead for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've led most of this first half. Wide open is Mitchell. Maybe too wide open.
Again, it's an unbelievably good shot, but neither club can connect.
Both teams are cold. Kevin Johnson goes in, and it was the last touch by the Timberwolves. No foul, and it'll still be Phoenix's ball.
Cotton saying there's got to be some kind of a call there, whether it's for or against.
Not neutral.
Not neutral.
Leading scorers, Person with 11, Barkley with 10 for Phoenix. Gugliotta has 11. Right now he's on the bench for the Timberwolves. Kick ball, and we'll have a new clock. Paul Mahalik and his officiating crew, Tommy Wood, Ted Bernhardt working tonight's game. Each team has made only 3 baskets here in the second quarter, and we have only 3:40 remaining. Leitner trying to deny Wayman Tisdale. Not doing much good. Tisdale with a turnaround. Wayman Tisdale with his first points of the night.
Score and turns away and back into Leitner to make that shot. One they desperately needed to get on the board.
Barkley giving Leitner the outside shot. Trying to pack the middle. Now they double team Isaiah Ryder, who kicks the ball away, but it's last off the foot of Michael Finley.
Terry Porter complaining he thinks there's a zone defense because they're doing so much. The Suns are doing a lot of switching right now, which makes it almost look like a zone.
Timberwolves have not scored a basket in the last 5.5 minutes. Yet they lead by 5. Here's Mitchell going strong to the basket. Rooks with the rebound, and it'll count. It's going to count. Sean Rooks at the buzzer. So that breaks the string, that long drought. And the Timberwolves are again up by 7 with under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Tisdale setting a screen for Kevin Johnson. Leitner picked him up. Tisdale got free inside and drew the foul. Not good switching that time by Minnesota.
Well, they went to the pick and roll and confused the issue, and they ended up giving free throws.
And a timeout in the waning minutes of this second quarter.
CBS NBA Wednesday is brought to you.
Indicated that he's starting to practice again. He's getting a run in. In fact, they're going to go over tomorrow. Their older guys will not practice. Danny Manning has missed, as we see in the graphic, 38 games basically in the entire season. However, they feel like physically he's passed every test, but game conditions are so much different. It'll be interesting to see when they decide to go ahead and play him.
Raymond Tisdale on the free throw line. 45-38, the Timberwolves lead. They were up by 3 after 1 quarter of play. Minnesota coming in having won 7 of their last 11 here at the Target Center. This is their third of 4 games against the Suns, and finally broke a 25-game losing streak over 5 years plus by beating them early in January in Phoenix. Tisdale makes it both, and it's a 5-point game.
You sense that this mini run of wins gives them more confidence. Whether they can sustain it, we'll see.
Double team inside on Ryder, and the foul is called, and so Isaiah Ryder will go to the free throw line as Tom Gugliotta, who played a key role in the early going for the Wolves, comes back in. Stay tuned for the Reebok halftime report with Ernie Johnson and Dick Versace, and they'll have all of today's scores and highlights of those games underway, including Kenny Anderson's Charlotte Hornet debut. Caught a little glimpse of it earlier. That's all coming up at halftime. Here's Isaiah Ryder, and last year had $100,000 in fines for missing practices and planes. And Kevin McHale telling us today in the shoot-around that now he's looking for more respect. So it looks like he's been a better guy for people to handle.
Yeah, I think this year, he said he went around. He said, "Here, I'm with the Minnesota TimberWolves. I'm an NBA player. I'm making X amount of dollars. Why aren't I getting respect? Respect is about winning basketball games and doing the right things on the floor." And maybe he's gotten a message. Let's certainly hope so.
He certainly has a lot of talent, and when you put him together with the Leitners, Gugliottas, and the future of Garnett, you can see the Timberwolves have something going. Wesley Person going strong to the hoop is fouled, and that'll be the second personal on Gugliotta.
That was that little mini press that they try to get the ball out of KJ's hands, but it ends up back in his hands, and they sprint out to the basket. Gugliotta trying to get the block. Fouls Person.
Both teams in the penalty, and Person misses from the line. The Phoenix Suns struggling from the field and from the free throw line, where they are only 9 of 16 tonight.
When you're a struggling defensive club to start with, then you've got to make your free throws because it only compounds the problems that you already have.
Timberwolves lead 47-41 over the Phoenix Suns as we get to about 2:15 to go. Pick and roll inside. Gugliotta lays it in. Gugliotta leading the Timberwolves with 14 points. He is the high scorer in the game. And it is now 49-41 Minnesota. Person, Tisdale, confusion out on the court for the Suns. They're definitely not fluid in their offense by any stretch. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Johnson putting it up over Porter and hits. Kevin Johnson now with 8.
He's had some wide open shots. That was a very, very tough shot. Nailed that one. But the only way he's going to get it back is confident. Porter comes right back and says, "I'm going to show you I can make one," and that hurts his club.
Getting a hand on it was Ryder, and his last touch by the Suns, and the Wolves take over. Great hustle by Isaiah Ryder in his 3rd year from UNLV.
Gets his hand on it right there. There's the dive for the ball and rolls out of bounds. Minnesota comes up with the basketball. Great hustle both sides.
Shooting percentages have dropped, but Phoenix way down. 32% since the first 3 minutes of the half. Another turnover, so we've had back-to-back turnovers here. Kevin Johnson. Now with 1:11 to go in the first half. Tisdale. Barkley guarded by Gugliotta, who has 2 personals. And here's Tisdale. He's got the ability to use his body and get the layup. Wayman Tisdale now with 6 off the bench.
Both these clubs high in turnover ratio in the 16-17 area, and they're demonstrating it here tonight, not getting good shots.
Down to 4 points now, and the Wolves turn it over out of bounds, and it's going to be Phoenix with the possession. So the Suns are making a run in the final minutes against Flip Saunders' team, 49-45, with just under 50 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it out of KJ's hand. Porter overplaying, make somebody else handle the basketball. They've got Tisdale in Person handling in the backcourt. They're taking seconds off the clock.
16 on the shot clock. And a foul out. Both teams are in the penalty, so this will be a shooting situation as Ryder committing his second. And you saw Flip Saunders, who may want to be a general manager instead of a coach. if he sees more of the same.
He talked about today, he doesn't like the thought process of moving around. He's done enough of that in the CBA. Second winningest coach ever in 7 seasons in the CBA. 2 titles, 90 and 92 with lacrosse. And he's been around the horn. He's got a general manager job that he likes. He said, I don't want to give that up and take a chance on being fired as a coach. They have to start moving again.
Best thing he has going for him is that he was Kevin McHale's roommate when they were at the University of Minnesota.
You know, though, when you talk to him today, he's got great demeanor. He's a very sound basketball man. And it's going to be tough here, I think, to change coaches.
Leitner from outside hits. Well-executed play. Leitner in double figures after the Suns managed only 1 free throw at the other side. It's 51-46. About 3.5-second differential on the clock in the waning seconds of the first half. Elliot Perry controlling outside, and a 20-second timeout called by Cotton.
Isolated at the top, try to break the defense down.
Ryder goes out, Derek Martin comes in. So they've got Gugliotta, Leitner, Martin, Mitchell, and Porter for the Timberwolves. Finley will inbound for the Suns. Very poised rookie. You see him at the big All-Star Showdown. A lot of those events on TNT. Johnson with 6 seconds to go. And Perry finds an open Kevin Johnson with 1 on the clock, short with it. And now with 3 seconds to go, Gugliotta finds Porter. Porter with a fake puts it up, and it doesn't go. Porter claiming that he was fouled by Wesley Person, but no call. Well, Gugliotta and Leitner were 11 for 13 between them from the field in the first half, and now we may have a foul call. Let's see. Paul Mihalik going over to the scorer's table, but the players are walking off.
I'll tell you what happened. Terry Porter was off balance, didn't think he could get the shot up. He went up and threw his body offensively into the defense. Watch right here. He's a little bit out. He says, I'll get him up in the air and try to draw the foul. There's no question he was hit. Smart play. Let's see where the clock is.
He was in the air.
Yeah, it was a close one, but then it looked like he didn't get the contact that he wanted. To the basket. Porter was such a great outside shooter.
So Porter and Ryder in the backcourt. Leitner, Gugliotta, and Mitchell up front for the Timberwolves. Person, Kevin Johnson, Finley, A.C. Green, and Barkley for the Phoenix Suns. Christian Leitner across the lane gets the first points. He has not missed from the field. Perfect 6 for 6 thus far. Wolves by 7 points. Their biggest lead was 9 in the second quarter. Kevin Johnson goes low to Barkley. Big double team. Finley cutting across. Mitchell got a piece of it, and a fine block by Sam Mitchell.
I think Cotton wants to establish Barkley in the low post and then try to play out of it early in the second half to see if they can make something happen.
Here's Person. Turnaround over Porter, and a good play on the other side. Sam Mitchell already with a couple of good plays. 8 rebounds for Mitchell from Mercer College. Isaiah Ryder misses from deep in the perimeter, and here comes Kevin Johnson feeding Person. Finley on the baseline, turns around. Leitner with a good outlet pass to Ryder. He's got Porter and Gugliotta. Great no-look pass from Gugliotta to Porter. Everything but the basket for the Timberwolves on that occasion. Here comes Person as the end-to-end up-tempo action. First time we've seen that in this game.
Yeah, a lot of running up and down, but nothing happening at either end. Neither team able to get a basket.
It'll be inbound by Finley. No one inside, a post up. Green and Barkley trying to get position. Barkley setting a screen for Kevin Johnson, picked up by Gugliotta and Porter, leaving Barkley open for the moment, and Barkley burns it. And Charles Barkley with his first basket since the first quarter.
Yeah, nice outside pick and roll, which is very difficult to defend, and leaves Barkley standing wide open. He kind of steered that one a little bit, much like he does with the driver at times on the golf course.
Ryder going to the hoop, misses the layup. Finley the rebound. And Kevin Johnson directing traffic for the Suns. Barkley with Gugliotta facing him. Is the big early game matchup. Barkley behind his back, pulls up, fall away, got it. Barkley 2 in a row.
You know, he was talking to the bench in Minnesota in the middle of that play and ended up by talking to the bench after he made it.
That's why he's got a great future as a broadcaster in this business. Gugliotta fires it up inside and misses. Barkley is already auditioning for his future job as a broadcaster while he operates with the ball. Kevin Johnson goes in, gets the basket, and draws the foul. That's vintage KJ as he gets the hoop, and the foul is on Gugliotta, his third.
Kevin Johnson shoots one for Phoenix.
Barkley has the ball. Look at him. He turns. He talks to the Minnesota bench, goes back to work, goes one-on-one, puts it between his legs twice, behind his fadeaway jumper, and nails the shot. And now watch. Oh, we didn't get the last point. He goes back and makes sure that the bench heard him the first time.
He wasn't through yet. Kevin Johnson completes the three-point play. The Suns have run off 7 in a row to tie the game at 53. So a strong beginning here in the second half for the Phoenix Suns, who are 15 and 22 on the year and laboring. There's Ryder missing long range. Barkley goes up, and a foul will be called against the Wolves. Ryder is 3 for 12 from the field, and certainly taking a lot of the TimberWolves out of their offense.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of long jumpers, a couple in transition, a couple out of context. Now, in this case, he knows he's not getting his shot, so he's going to take him his own way. Flip has to think seriously at this time. Let's go back to him on the low box, give him a shot in a different locale to try to make something good happen rather than settling for a 20-foot jumper.
Leitner with his second personal foul. Let's see if the Wolves do that the next time down the floor. Driving to the hoop is Finley with a good move. Michael Finley, averaging nearly 15 a game. Finley now has 8, but he'll be more of a factor before this one is over. Gugliotta finds an open Terry Porter inside three-point territory, kept alive by Sam Mitchell. Under 9 minutes remaining, third quarter. The Suns lead 55 to 53 after trailing by 9 in the second quarter and by 5 at the half. Porter goes up one-handed. Barkley out of nowhere clears it. Here's KJ. 10 rebounds for Charles Barkley tonight. He had 15 last night. Kevin Johnson with the jumper, and the Suns have opened up a 4-point lead and an 11-0 run, and timeout called by Flip Saunders on the Minnesota side. The Suns are burning hot here in the third quarter.
This will make them a more dangerous team.
Suns have outscored the Timberwolves 11-2. That's 11 straight points. Phoenix 5 in a row. Minnesota 1 for 8, and one of the problems for a team that has struggled for a long time, remember, the Timberwolves have lost at least 60 games 4 years in a row, something no team in the NBA has Doc Severinsen at the game. Derek Martin bringing the ball up. Martin is going for Porter. Leitner nearly has the ball knocked out of his hand. Mitchell to Gugliotta. Gugliotta gets the basket. Maybe that'll stem the time. What I was trying to say before is that the Timberwolves have lacked the killer instinct, Chuck, which is one of the reasons they've had leads and then they dissolve later in the game.
This will happen with teams with their kind of record. They know how quite how to finish. They're maybe not talented enough to finish off an opponent. That's the second shot for Gugliotta, the guy that led them in scoring the first half. I would think you got to get him more shots.
Barkley working in against Gugliotta at the buzzer, gets it. Everything dropping for Charles Barkley, who has scored 6 points here in the third quarter, 16 in the game, and it's a 4-point lead again for the Suns. Under 7.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, 59 to 55. And we'll have a foul away from the ball, and that'll be on Barkley for Charles, his third.
Here's Barkley backing Gugliotta down, then fades away. Watch what happens when he turns up floor. He's got a running discourse with the coaches, and he's saying, you better get somebody else on me. He can't handle me.
Technical foul has been called against Barkley, so he has been talking too long. But
talk to the wrong guy that time.
Isaiah Ryder on the free throw line, an 82% free throw shooter. He connects.
What's happening right now for the Minnesota Timberwolves? They are not executing. They're leaving before the screens are occurring, and they're not getting quite the precise execution they need to get a good shot.
Leitner looking inside, now working against Barkley, who has 3 fouls. Leitner puts it up. Leitner now with 14 points. 7 for 7 from the line. He remains El Perfecto from the field for the Timberwolves tonight. They loop it in, and once again, Gugliotta, bad pass. Gugliotta was fronting Barkley. Loose ball picked up on the other side. You're right, Chuck. Turn over one side, turn over the other.
It happens so frequently.
Finley with the blast.
If you're a coach and you could figure that out when a team turns over to make sure that you get a good percentage shot the next time down, percentages obviously will work in your behalf.
Suns by 3. And traveling called, and trying to put the move on Barkley was Leitner on the baseline, but he took too many steps.
Barkley using that forearm, but he absolutely, it was not Barkley's play, it was just a misstep.
Barkley over Gugliotta. Rebound, Mitchell got a piece of it, and here comes Derek Martin, and Kevin Johnson intercepted that pass. Here's Johnson feeding Barkley, lost control of it. Barkley again. He missed the layup, and finally a foul. Charles Barkley is very lucky that he's going to get a chance to go to the line after losing control and missing a layup inside.
And the Minnesota Timberwolves are destructing Gugliotta's pass in the middle of the floor to turn it over on the previous play, and then another turnover there. They're just giving away the basketball. One of the things you have to do with a young club like Minnesota's every time down is get a good shot, and they need to work on it rather than turn it over so frequently. They do it at 17.4 per game, much too many.
Off to a 3 for 6 shooting second half is Charles Barkley. Foul was on Christian Leitner, his 3rd personal foul, and the 13th foul against the Timberwolves. Charles Barkley, the top vote getter for all forwards for the Western Conference. He's had 21 double-doubles in 30 games coming into this one. And he's got another double-double tonight. He misses 1 free throw, 17 points to go along with 11 rebounds. So that's 22. Pretty good percentage for Charles Barkley in that department. Martin working against Kevin Johnson. Mitchell with 5 on the shot clock. Sam Mitchell averaging nearly 10.5, has 5 points, and the Suns lead down to 2. It's been all Phoenix here in the 3rd quarter after Minnesota Timberwolves have dominated the first half.
Timberwolves are running plays, not executing plays, and there's a big difference.
Yes. Maybe the tempo got a little bit too up for them as the second half began. Driving to the basket, Derek Martin yelling for the foul, which didn't come. Here is Person at the other side against Gugliotta. His presence was felt. Here is Finley with a follow. So Michael Finley now in double figures has 12 points and the biggest lead for the Suns. 6 points, 66-60. Who is out there to stem the tide? And we're going to see Kevin Garnett get off the bench. Nope, that's going to be Doug West. It'll be West coming in. 19-9 on the scoring here, and Kevin Johnson misses off the glass following the turnover.
At this point, you've got to get a good shot for somebody, and they're just not doing it. Not even on post-up or execution.
And over the top was Wesley Person for the Phoenix foul, only the 2nd team foul for the Suns.
Minnesota already with 14 turnovers for 9 for Phoenix. You know, and they average 17.4, and they're headed in with 16 minutes to go. They're headed for a big turnover game.
Ryder goes out having scored 9, but he has been ice cold from the field, replaced by Doug West. Leitner is guarded by A.C. Green. Open is Mitchell. They got a decent shot there, but Mitchell couldn't hit from the perimeter. Bounce pass, Person from Barkley. He's got it. Wesley Person now with 15 points and a timeout called by the Timberwolves. So 4 players in double figures for the Phoenix Suns, sparked by Barkley, 17. Here is Person's basket.
Watch that great long bounce pass. Person, instead of going to the basket, pulls up because he's very confident with that kind of a shot.
Including reports from Vince Cellini, who's at the Super Bowl in the Phoenix.
Minnesota guard shooting 7 for 27. You can post up and swing the ball all you want. Somebody's got to make a shot.
22-9. Phoenix has outscored Minnesota here in this third quarter. Martin in there along with West, Leitner, Gugliotta, and Mitchell for the Timberwolves, who are struggling big time. Gugliotta short rims it, but is last touched by the Suns. And Kevin Garnett is coming back in. Garnett did not score in the first half, played 7 minutes.
The Timberwolves are scoring 51 points in the first half. They have only scored 9 thus far with 3:55 to go in the third quarter.
So they know what the icebox feels like. So do we when we walk to the Target Center. It was 0 tonight outside. And a foul called against Wesley Person, his third. And that's third team foul against the Suns with 3:55 remaining in the third quarter. Doug West will shoot. Charles can be charming as well.
As charming as anyone can be. Just recently did an article in which I read excerpts of in the George magazine with JFK Jr. And he's so blatantly honest and makes good sense. He has a kind of a sincere clarity of thinking that allows him to pull this off.
Talk about clarity of thinking. He was very clear in which he showed what that foul was all about. A little touch. 1 out of 2 for West. Gets the ball back, and they're going to jump it up. Kevin Johnson, good hustle, ties up Doug West, and they'll toss it up. 7-point lead for the Suns. Johnson at 6'1", and West at 6'6".
Now, all the time you spend in practice working on jump balls, let's see if it pays off. There's a gap back here between Garnett and Leitner. That's where the tip should go, but it doesn't.
And
Barkley violated.
That's right. So it's going to be Timberwolves ball. Leitner or Gugliotta will inbound. Suns had won that tip, but the violation on Charles Barkley gives the ball back. Derek Martin, the point guard. He's played most of the game at that spot. Leitner coming off the screen. Gugliotta was green on him. Gugliotta lost the ball out of bounds. Another turnover.
What really has happened is the Phoenix Suns have turned it up defensively, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are really struggling to get any kind of a shot, either post up or out of their set plays.
It was the 15th turnover for the Timberwolves. Down by 7. Finley, hard off the glass. A.C. Green tips it in. A.C. Green having his best season off the boards and has been installed as the starting center. Joe Klein going to the bench has not seen much action or any action tonight. Wait for Hot Rod Williams to get back. Derek Martin from the point misses. Gugliotta misses the tip. Kevin Garnett follows. Garnett gets his own rebound. Still fighting inside. Garnett turnaround, and finally, second, third, and fourth effort pays off for the 19-year-old.
Worked hard, but then he stopped on the play and was almost caught in a transition situation because he was so happy at what he did. Great enthusiasm, though.
So you see flashes of this 19-year-old. Barkley from outside. 19 points for Charles Barkley. He had 10 in the first quarter. Shut out in the second and has come back with 9 here in the third. And the Suns are up by 9 points. That matches their biggest lead. Gugliotta can't do any business inside. Here's Kevin Johnson back. Here's Green inside, and he's fouled. Let's watch the rookie Kevin Garnett, the 5th pick in the draft.
Let's see. Keeps it alive, gets it up, can't score it, not quite strong enough, loses again. Got a very bad hand, got 8 stitches in that hand. Gets hit again on the hands, finally gets it, but it shows you he has good hands and the ability to get it back up.
He hurt his hand in the first game he started against the Lakers early in January. (73-63), the biggest lead of the game for either team. 10 points right now for the Suns. Leitner, and that's the first time Leitner has missed from the field tonight. He's 7 for 8. Kevin Johnson, stop and go around. Martin, basket, counts, and a foul. So Kevin Johnson, who was A very slow starter tonight. Now has 17 points to go along with 8 assists, and KJ's cooking now.
Watch it. Watch his play. Between his legs, goes left. There's no shot blocking. He just has his way down the lane.
The way he's slowed up and then put the Jets on against Derek Martin. Sean Rooks will replace Tom Gugliotta, who picks up his 4th personal foul and goes to the bench. There's the difference in Kevin Johnson's night. First half, 3 for 11 from the field. Second half, 4 for 5, but he's done a lot of other things too. Struggling from the line.
Yeah, part of the problem is that Minnesota is not executing. They're not making any shots, so it's allowing Phoenix to get out and run, get easy baskets, get to the foul line, and do all the things that will increase your lead.
Garnett is called for the foul, and this is where the Wolves have not been able to close the deal, and that's why they have been a struggling franchise. And Flip Saunders trying to get the team in the right direction. Not much he can do.
This will be an aging process.
Yeah.
not just among the players. Not just among the players.
Raymond Tisdale in the game on the feed from Johnson. Tisdale, who had 16 off the bench last night, has 8 now. And all of a sudden, the Suns have opened up a 14-point lead, and the air has gone out of that TimberWolves balloon in a big way. The crowd has been silenced. Leitner, they're not having much defensive pressure, but the shots aren't falling. Finley inside. Tisdale on the other side.
I tell you, I really like Michael Finley's game. I mean, there's no question he has earned the minutes. He's averaging 35 minutes. He's doing some big numbers for rookies. 4th in points, 4th in assists, 3rd in minutes. But he can get to the basket. He's fearless. He can shoot the 3. Does a lot of. He misses there, but he is a very, very good player.
He wasn't listening to your cue. He's supposed to make those shots when you say he's doing well.
I had him set up perfectly.
Yes, you did. Sean Rooks working inside against Tisdale. Leitner tries to tip it, and Person comes down with it. And here's Kevin Johnson. Vintage Kevin Johnson in the second half tonight. Can't go anywhere against West. Derek Martin now in the picture. Johnson trying to penetrate. And Kevin Garnett got a hand on that pass, leaves it for Doug West. Good play by the rookie. Derek Martin lays it in, but it was Garnett who made it happen at the other end.
That time I thought KJ probably did a little bit too much. He tried to get in there about 4 or 5 different ways. Finally, he made the pass, though. He didn't make the error.
Here's Finley working against Garnett. Fall away and a foul. He was hit on the hands. You were talking about Finley, and want to remind you he'll be in the Schick rookie game and the Nestle Crunch Slam Dunk competition, which you'll see all on TNT and All-Star Weekend at San Antonio. And I'll be there with Danny Ainge for the Slam Dunk and the 3-point shootout. You'll be with Ernie Johnson, looking at all of the activities on Saturday.
I'm listening to you very carefully.
Critiquing as you do. There's the All-Star Weekend. This all starts Friday, February 9th at 10 o'clock. Saturday, we'll join you at 7 o'clock. All-Star Weekend. Become a big tradition here on TNT and TBS.
One great big party in San Antonio. 5,000 of your closest friends at the first party.
Our job is to get out of that party and get to where we have to be for the Saturday night activities. 77-65. The lead is 12. The final seconds ticked off here in the 3rd quarter. Martin working against Elliot Perry, who's checked into the game, and a turnover forced by Finley. Finley fires it up at the buzzer and misses. But it was all Phoenix Suns. 31-14, 3rd quarter. Charles Barkley scored 9 of those points and has 19 in the game. Another double-double for Sir Charles. And after 3, the Suns lead the Timberwolves 77-65.
Yeah, Minnesota doesn't seem, at least they did in the 3rd quarter, they have no go-to guy that can make something happen.
Mark Davis, a rookie from Texas Tech, who is a 2nd-round pick, number 7, has checked in to the Timberwolves lineup. So Garnett and Davis, 2 rookies. Garnett with a big block inside on Finley. Boy, we've seen some flashes from that youngster tonight.
He certainly has some talent, and as his body develops and the mind goes with it, he's going to be a real force here in Minnesota.
Martin looking in, and Elliot Perry gets a hand on it. So for Let's see Garnett's block again.
Thinks he's clear on the baseline. Look at that block right on the ball, brings it down, keeps it alive, and they get the ball in the open court.
West misses from the corner, and it'll be Suns ball. Phoenix has Elliott Perry and Wesley Person in the backcourt. Wayman Tisdale, Charles Barkley, and Michael Finley up front. Davis, along with Derek Martin, West, Garnett, and Sean Rooks. Tisdale going in, double team, goes up again with it, and Rooks the rebound. So right now the Timberwolves have none of their starting 5 in the game. West with a basket and a foul. Well executed fast break, and Doug West was able to finish it.
They're getting misses and able to get in the open court and get opportunities. Here's Martin throwing ahead. West wide open, gets all the way to the basket, chance to score the 3.
Here's another look at it, and West will try to complete the 3-point play, averaging a little over 7 points a game, has 5 tonight, and he's got it. So it is now a 9-point lead for the Suns, and so Flip Saunders says, look, my starters haven't done much. They go to the bench. Let's go with a different group. That's what he's got out there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Barkley. Barkley's going to have to play pretty much this quarter to keep this game under control. See what kind of conditioning he has and how his shot falls late.
Has the ball knocked away, and a foul before the shot. He's working against the bigger Sean Rooks, who is 6'10", and the foul was against Sean, his second.
Well, Charles Barkley's so experienced and such an intelligent player, knowing when to put it on the floor, when to back out and take the shot. Seen it 1,000 times. Been there, done that, seen that.
Hasn't he ever? Finley out there. All over him is Davis. Barkley out to Finley again, 10 on the shot clock. Low to Tisdale over Garnett. So Wayman Tisdale, who is an 11-year veteran against a 19-year-old Garnett, and a foul at the other side.
What happened on the defense that time? Garnett started viewing the other side, got caught on the step in, and a veteran like Tisdale, if he gets that kind of position, is going to finish the play.
4 personals now on Wesley Person. And we're going to see Mark Davis going to the free throw line. 57% free throw shooter. 48th pick in the draft. And if you want to talk about the number 48, just consider this. Cedric Sabalas, Craig Elo, Craig Hodges, after the great three-point shooter, and Michael Williams, who's injured right now with the Timberwolves, all were 48th picks in the draft.
It tells you that guys can make it this late down the road.
79-70, it's a 9-point game. Wolves with the trap. Elliott Perry directing traffic outside as KJ gets a rest on the bench. Garnett not giving much room to Barkley. Knocks it away, and it's going to be Suns ball with 6 seconds on the shot clock.
That time they went to a little trap and tried to get him out of rhythm, and now they've got 6 seconds on the clock.
Here's Person cutting in. Doesn't go. Rooks fighting Barkley, and Sean Rooks wins that fight. And a 9-point game. Here come the Timberwolves. Derek Martin trying to penetrate. He does. Basket counts and a foul. And the Minnesota crowd is into it again.
And what they're doing is getting stops on the other end, able to get in the open court, get easy baskets. Here's Martin driving down the lane, and they give him the lane. They don't have shot blocking. They have no presence in the middle, so it makes it very easy for a guy who is only 5'11".
Derek Martin has 12 points and 6 assists, now given 13. The foul was on Perry, and is now a 6-point game. It was a 14-point lead for the Suns. Kevin Johnson has come back in, and Finley fouled going to the hoop, so Cotton Fitzsimmons not wasting much time as he brought KJ back in, and now AC Green will follow.
Brought him right back into the game. He does not like what's happening. And it looks as though Saunders said, hey, I'm not going to stay straight up. I'm going to start trapping, try to get this crowd involved in the game, and maybe we can get back in it.
You said it earlier. I think this is a sound coach, Flip Saunders, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. He's been around. Any guy who's been in the CBA And when you're in the CBA, and we've had a lot of the George Carls, the Phil Jacksons come out of the CBA, these guys have to make adjustments on the fly. They lose players to the NBA. Mikhail was talking about today. They lose outside players. They lose inside players. So they really have great experience in putting together a team and a franchise.
Bill Flip Saunders leading the Timberwolves. 1 out of 2 from the line. Phoenix is a little better than 50% from the free throw line tonight. That's really cost them. The lead is 7, 80-73, with 9:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. Rooks lost the ball to Tisdale. Here's Person releasing, and a costly turnover. Yet another one committed by Minnesota.
And Flip is in a little bit of a dilemma. He says, now, do I go back to my key guys? We've got 9:06 this game. These guys got me back. What do I do?
Martin misses from outside. Garnett taps it to A.C. Green. I think sooner or later, you got to make the move. Great block by Mark Davis on the layup attempt by Finley. And it's up to Derek Martin to keep the team from being out of control. He goes in and draws the foul. So Derek Martin will go to the free throw line. And Finley has committed his 4th personal.
Martin, here's a long pass. They've gotten him twice on this play on outlets on turnovers.
So right now you keep this group in there. You wouldn't bring any of the starters back in.
No, I would be leaning bad toward bringing a couple starters back, because I don't think this trap is going to go that long and be that effective. Right now, I'd take a long look at it in the next couple of times. These guys keep delivering.
Kevin Garnett. What a spectacular reverse baseline move by Garnett. It's 82-75. Remember, he's just 19 years old. And early January, just the 3rd youngest ever to start an NBA game after Bill Willoughby and Darryl Dawkins. He's showing what he can do and what the future holds. They go low into Tisdale with a turnaround, and it drops. Wayman Tisdale, and the Suns again lead by 9.
Those scorers, they have the greatest touch. So soft, bounces around the rim, finally falls.
12 for Tisdale. Remember, at 16 off the bench in the losing cause against Indiana last night. Off the screen, West misses. Here comes Kevin Johnson. Under 8 minutes remaining. Plenty of time here at the Target Center, as the Timberwolves try to keep a very hot home record going on 7 of their last 11. Turnaround by Tisdale, and the rebound by Garnett. That is the 7th rebound by Kevin Garnett.
Very intelligent play. He took the rebound. He said, wait a minute, I'm going to get the point guard, which he did.
Martin working off with Kevin Johnson. Great move. Derek Martin taught Kevin Johnson a lesson, and Martin now with 15 points off the bench. 84-77, the Suns lead. Reverse layup by Person misses, but Finley comes in to clean it up. Michael Finley now, 15 points. 5 players in double figures tonight for the Phoenix Suns. Barkley still their leading scorer with 19. Gugliotta, who's been on the bench a long while with 16, still the Timberwolves' top scorer. Martin, crossover out to West. 5 on the shot clock. Here's Garnett, baseline. He's got it.
And he's been a force here. Shot block, great basket move underneath, and there's an outside shot. Done it all.
This kid shows us something. 86-79. KJ working towards the hoop, and a Minnesota foul. It'll be their 3rd team foul. Kevin Garnett. Give me an idea what's in store for this 19-year-old out of Malden, South Carolina, who finished his high school, not college, high school career in
hand, where he has between the 2 middle fingers, he has 8 stitches, and he needs this for protection. But he is some kind of rookie. Got a great future.
Kevin Garnett, and there was no question. Talking to Kevin McHale, he says, you know, we like Damon Stoudemire. I guess Stoudemire has got to be one of the top, if not the top rookie candidate for Rookie of the Year honors. But he says, we're looking down the road a little bit. Sometimes it's tough to do that in the NBA today, but that was the strategy, and they may have a great diamond in the rough in this fellow.
Yeah, they thought Stoudemire would give them more instant success, but they felt that down the road. The only problem with that is the new collective bargaining agreement, where after 3 years, he could be a free agent, and that's the determining factor.
Well, of course, you know, you have a lot of players. They're comfortable in the place. They like their teammates. So You have to go at it with confidence, I guess, as well as smarts. Kevin Johnson hit both free throws, 88-79. The lead is 9 for the Suns. Martin looking into Gugliotta, guarded by Tisdale. Now the double team inside to Davis with a layup. Mark Davis has come on and scored 4 points.
And Gugliotta is getting a double team, which is going to open up either the cutter or the outside shot, and that's what happened that time. They're staying in the trap here.
Green going to the basket, and Garnett gets the rebound. They collapse well. There's a 4-on-1 break, and here is Davis to Gugliotta, and the Timberwolves trail by 5. Timeout, Phoenix. The Minnesota Timberwolves are making a fourth-quarter run at the Phoenix Suns.
Top of the key there, goes to the basket, gets blocked. There's Garnett snatching the rebound. Now they got 4-on-1 numbers. Terrific pass off to Gugliotta, and he finishes it.
Gugliotta with 18 points, and the Suns lead is 5. Chuck.
Yeah, fortunately for them, they've got almost in every instance a day off in between, which will help. But they're all losable and a lot of winnable games there, depending on how the clubs play.
And after tonight, they will have played 6 more games at home than on the road. So when that balances it off, there you see the obstacles that Cotton Fitzsimmons' team faces in just getting into the playoffs this year.
Well, he knows it. We talked to him earlier, and Jerry Colangelo knows it. But they wanted to change the direction of the club, and that's what they've done. And here is your little trap again.
See how the Suns answer this burst by the Timberwolves. West is on person. Gugliotta on Barkley back in the game. Charles Barkley in there. Johnson, 7 on the shot clock. Player Mark Davis doing a good job. The whole bench has for the Timberwolves. Behind, here's Person with a shot and gets it off at the buzzer into the hands of A.C. Green, and the layup. That was a ball that bounced right for the Phoenix Suns.
All of that work. They did everything right except the bounce.
Again, it's a 7-point game. A.C. Green, the old pro, with 8 points and 11 off the glass tonight. Gugliotta working against Barkley. Double team with Finley. Gugliotta gets it back. Inside, outside. And misses the shot. So the Wolves don't want to see the momentum broken, but it may be here. A.C. Green gets in for another layup. Very slow. Smart 20-second timeout called by Saunders right here.
Yeah, and very slow transition defense. They get caught for too many easy field goals.
Derek Martin in at point guard. Gugliotta, Garnett, Davis, and West. Gugliotta from outside misses. And the long rebound into the hands of Kevin Johnson. So their problems with the perimeter shooting continue.
You know, he had drawn double teams inside, was able to get some people outside shots, but there he settles for the outside jumper.
Barkley fall away against the double team, hits. Barkley now with 21 points. So you see the offense just stalled with the outside shooting, and now a full timeout called by Flip Saunders and the Timberwolves. 6 in a row run off by the Phoenix Suns. And this is the last 2.
That's a great player.
Well, you look at these two teams, you see the experience of the Suns and the inexperience of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we hope that those young players will develop as the years go on. And that experience certainly has been a factor as Leitner is fouled. Barkley, 21 points and 13 rebounds. Kevin Johnson has 19 points and 11 assists. And A.C. Green with 10 points and 11 rebounds. So that experience is paying off big time for the Suns.
Christian Leitner on a previous play had the post-up, and his footwork got away from him. He needs footwork and balance on his post-up play. At that time, Barkley got him, almost forced him into walk. In fact, it was so close, it was a very tough decision for Palmer Hall.
First time at the line, and Leitner makes them both. Barkley with his 4th personal foul. So it's a 9-point game with just under 4 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. Here comes the trap again, which has worked wonders in this 4th quarter for the Timberwolves. A.C. Green has Garnett looming in front of him. 7 on the shot clock. Person gets open for the moment. Garnett closes it up. Barkley with the offensive rebound, and he'll start a new clock.
And Sweeney has a little banner. Make sure that he knows that, see, when they're not matched up man-to-man, they're into the little zone trap. It's going to allow a guy like Barkley to dominate the paint and get second shots.
8 offensive rebounds for Barkley. 5 on the shot clock. Facing Gugliotta. Time running out. Short with it. Loose ball. And the Suns will wind up with it again as Michael Finley picked up the loose ball, and a new clock as we get down to 3 minutes to go.
They've been alive tonight for playing last night. They got their, their heads handed to them, as Cotton said. But they've been alive tonight and picked up a lot of loose balls, and it's really been the difference in the game at crucial times. 5 wins and 10 losses on the road for the Suns. Low into AC Green with a hook shot. Gugliotta fighting for the loose ball, out of bounds. And it's last touched by the Suns. So finally, after all of that, the Timberwolves get the ball. You know, with 2:42 and a 9-point deficit, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they can overcome.
Anything can happen. Interesting, Garnett playing in crunch time. Leitner going around, and Leitner across the lane now. 8 for 10 from the field, and Christian Leitner, along with Gugliotta, 18 points apiece, leading Minnesota scoring. 7-point lead, loose ball at the midcourt line, and a foul is called against West, I think. And it is against Mark West, or Doug West, his 4th personal foul. Reached in on that double team and created the foul. Suns in the penalty, Chuck, and the next foul by the Timberwolves will put them in the same situation. Person into the hands of KJ. .2:10 on the clock. Garnett comes over with the trap. Double team and a good one, and it's going to be last touched by the Timberwolves. It looked as if the signal was going to be given the other way.
I think Christian Leitner got his hand on it. I think it was the correct call, but there's not a lot of time on the clock.
6 on the shot clock. Barkley now doubled. Johnson to the other side, and a perimeter shot is missed by Wesley Person. A new clock and a foul, and both teams in the penalty, and AC Green will go to the line to shoot 2, and the foul is against West, his 5th. 5, and one more. Doug West is gone.
And the Phoenix Suns have been able to maintain here simply by getting second shots. They've dominated the offensive board late in the game here to maintain this lead.
You know, Chuck, if this were football and time of possession, the Suns would have a great time of possession edge over the Timberwolves in this waning moments.
Phoenix has 18 second shots, Minnesota 12, but I would say 7 have come in the last 5 minutes on this end of the court. And that's going to happen when you're in that out-and-out trap and you're not matched up and don't box out.
AC Green hits both of his free throws. And it's 96-87. The Suns lead by 9 with under 2 minutes remaining. Leitner in the low post, quickly doubled by KJ. And Garnett fires a 3. Loose ball. Garnett tips it over to the side. Garnett 7 for 17 coming into the game in 3-point shooting. And Leitner coming up court, and a foul called against the Timberwolves, and this will be another shooting situation. Kevin Garnett with his 4th.
Garnett not shy, measuring up the 3-point line, and Charles had a remark to him. A good-natured remark said, "What are you doing shooting 3s?"
There's a man who can do a lot of things coming up and down the floor. Charles Barkley misses the first free throw. 9-point lead for the Suns with 1:36 to go. Minnesota led by 3 after 1 quarter, and they led by 5 at the half, but then a big 31-14 third quarter. And the Suns open up as much as a 14-point lead late in that third quarter. Barkley now with 22 points. 10-point game, and missing inside was Derek Martin. Missed the layup clearly.
See what I mean?
And Kevin Johnson controlling the ball on the perimeter. Martin looking for the steal, and finally Derek Martin fouls Kevin Johnson.
Confident, he says, "You can't stop me now." He's going to talk to Paul Mihalik and make sure he understands his job and what he's to do tonight. Paul looks him off, and there he's smiling, very happy. Very big win for the Phoenix Suns with this road trip ahead.
22 points, 16 rebounds, and meanwhile, the look is not the same over on the Timberwolves side, where Gugliotta and Leitner each with 18, Derek Martin 15 off the bench, but it was impressive to see Kevin Garnett and the nation seeing Garnett, who tied his career high in his rookie year, 8 rebounds in 22 minutes, scoring 6 points and a couple of block shots as well.
He's a talent, but he's going to need minutes. He's going to need maturity. He's going to need to develop a game. The big thing is they're going to have to find a position, establish a position for him, and get him consistent playing time at that position.
Garnett will inbound. By the way, Doug West fouled out of the game on that last foul. Christian Leitner misses the layup, and here's Kevin Johnson. And he is fouled.
You know, after I made that statement, I said to myself, you know, that's going to be probably one of the toughest decisions. Obviously, it's got to be 4 and 5, but his bulk won't allow him to defend a lot of the key people at those positions, and the 3 people are going to lose ball. He's one of those players that's going to be tough to dimensionalize if there is such a word. The other thing, he's going to have to develop a basic shot or 2 offensively so they can establish where to use him offensively. And here's a 20-second timeout.
Well, you know, they brought Elliot Perry in to help with the ball handling, and they're not looking all that smooth now. And so here's the 22nd with 10 seconds to go. It's 99-91. You'd think this was a 2-point game or 3, but it is an 8-point lead for the Suns. And the old term, Chuck, going down to the wire never fit more than it did here for a game that isn't all that close. There's Barkley having both knees with ice. AC Green will inbound. Finds Finley, and a foul. 8.5, and Michael Finley will go to the free throw line. 15 points. He'll be in the rookie game and the slam dunk event on All-Star Weekend that you'll see on TNT. So a chance for Michael Finley to show his wares. One of the more outstanding rookies in the NBA this year. A double-double tonight for Finley.
And a very quiet one, I might add. We were talking about Barkley, we were talking about KJ, and very quietly he was doing his thing as he's done for this club all year.
100-91. And a 10-point lead. Well, the Suns playing only 7 players tonight, 6 of them scoring in double figures. Martin working against Perry. And AC Green, the rebound at the buzzer, and that'll do it. So the Timberwolves open up a 9-point lead in the second quarter, but a big third quarter in which the Suns outscored